to Mindful Progress a Journey. I'm your host, Torrid Embrox. You have clicked on the right podcast if you want to listen to creepypastas. If not, then I suggest you click off because today's story is not mine. It is borrowed, pieced together from forbidden archives, whispered from the mouths of the missing, extracted from documents that should have never left their redacted vaults. They say this name is so dangerous to speak aloud, but you're already listening, and so I'll say it once. He's called the Scarlet King. A being born from humanity's collective dread from the past. A god of chains, a monarch of famine, blood, and cruelty. An idea that has infected history, faith, and even the secret institution tasked with guarding us all, the SCP Foundation. In this episode, we'll descend into a myth so ancient and fragmented it threatens not just sanity, but reality itself. We'll explore his origins, his cults, his power, and the creeping dread that binds us all. This file is level 5 clearance only. You were never meant to hear it. Now let us whisper the name, the king who howls across time. Foundation records conflict on his birth. Some say he was a weak god named Kahrak who grew resentful of life and murdered his siblings. He devoured his brothers and sisters, seized power, and betrayed the creation of the Tree of Knowledge. He raped the goddess Sana, fathering 7 daughters who became his brides, weaving his power into the cosmos. Others portray him as the living idea of violent hierarchy and authoritarian rule, a king born of hunger and famine, fear and hopeless order. One document, stamped SCP-001-K, puts it this way. Document 001-K Fragment. The Scarlet King is the rupture between past and present. He is the death cry of the old world refusing to fade. He is the rage of tradition when confronted with progress. End of 001-K Fragment. The Foundation cannot decide if he is a creature, a god, or an idea, but he is classified as an XK class end of the world scenario, and that alone tells you the stakes. The king is less a man, more a fault line between eras. To contain him or even understand him is to grapple with the weight of history itself. But the king does not remain distant. He is carried into our world by his worshippers, the children of the Scarlet King. Foundation rates describe them as fragmented cults, some little more than isolated fanatics, others vast networks with ritual sites stretching back to the Tevate Empire. Their doctrine is simple: enlightenment through violation, ritual violence, and the overthrow of modern civilization. Recovered writings describe the king's 7 brides, women bound to him, forced to bear his children, and through them his presence deepens. The Foundation maintains a file, SCP-231, 7 young women, only one survives. The 7th, she is contained at all costs. Subjected to procedure 110 Montauk, a ritual so horrific that even Foundation staff whisper about it only in fear. It's more than a belief or custom, it's active psychic influence. The Foundation suspects that the Scarlet King implants ideology into susceptible minds, ensuring cults persist so long as he remains active. A researcher once wrote in his resignation letter, "We are not protecting humanity, we are protecting time itself from collapsing under his weight." He vanished 3 days later. The king has many chains, some broken, some intact. He weaves through other SCP lores. The most infamous is SCP-2317, a vast door in a barren world. Behind it, a chained colossus. 7 locks, 6 are gone. With each lock that fails, disasters strike our Earth. Floods, plagues, wars. Only one chain remains. Foundation field notes, redacted but leaked, describe the entity as a manifestation or fragment of the Scarlet King. Whether it's his true body or merely one avatar is unknown. Another file, SCP-6659, a sacrificial dagger, is believed to hold part of his essence. The Foundation classified it as Thalmil, a weapon against anomalies. Yet whispers circulate that the dagger doesn't bind him, it bargains with him. Perhaps the most disturbing theory comes from an O5 Council transcript. It is as follows: O52, the Scarlet King is real. O57, no, he is every SCP we have failed to understand, he is the pattern. O52, then which is worse? The file ends there. Is the Scarlet King real, or is he a symbol given life by containment itself? The king embodies anarchy, a rebellion against sterile modernity. He demands primal structures where strength and violence define worth. His power lies in fear and symbols, not senses. He lacks eyes, ears, even a nose, but he senses terror through the belief in brutality. Belief fuels him. Dr. Tufto, in the infamous SCP-001 proposal, suggests the Foundation creates the king every day by enforcing order, hierarchy, secrecy. They feed him. He thrives on the belief in cruelty and violent authority. An institution built to save humanity may also be his greatest servant. I've read a banned internal memo that reads, "The king does not exist without us. Each number we assign, each anomaly we lock away is another prayer to him. Containment is his liturgy." Perhaps that is why the Foundation can never kill him. He is just not in their files. He is their shadow. So what happens when he breaks through? SCP-2317's birth. A chain snapping in a pocket dimension, a dagger as prison, cults twisting societies. The consequences are apocalyptic, but not always immediate. More subtle is psychological. Believers lose empathy. Obsession with hierarchy, purity, and a natural state takes hold. They perform atrocities in the name of transcendence. Evil doesn't roar, it whispers through belief systems and academic inquiry. The Foundation fears the seventh bride's child most of all. If it is born, the king will enter fully. That's why procedure 110 Montauk or 110 Montauk never ends. Every night the ritual repeats. Psychological reports from staff involved describe obsession with boiling water, voices whispering hierarchies, and compulsive drawings of crowns. The king is not outside, he is already in their heads, and maybe in yours. So, what is the Scarlet King? A god? A monster? An idea too cruel to die? Or perhaps a reflection of ourselves, maybe? The SCP Foundation would tell you he's contained, but read between the redactions and you'll see the truth. Containment is just postponement. The chains are breaking, the cults are thriving, and the Foundation itself may be writing his gospel. You never know what's gonna happen. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mindful Progress A Journey. This episode was a little bit different and we kind of actually went a little too in depth in the SCP Foundation and the Scarlet King's lore. Let me know if you want to learn more about the SCP Foundation. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth episode on the organization itself instead of its containments. And next episode will release on the next month's last Friday. Tune in for that. And it was Torrid Embrox signing off now.